From coast to coast, supporters of abortion rights are protesting a wave of new laws. This is video from one of the demonstrations across the nation today. And tonight we are live from a rally in downtown Spokane.
We are on the way to the unofficial start of summer, talking about Memorial Day weekend. I'll tell you what kind of weather you can expect next.
Once we keep the dog balanced, we can really use that dog to help keep the person balanced as well.
Support and rescue dogs spend their lives helping people, but a therapy program in Post Falls is designed to actually help those dogs relieve some stress. Well, pro-abortion rights advocates across the country are protesting against new laws restricting abortion. From Seattle to Washington, D.C., many believe the laws could ultimately challenge the constitutional right established in Roe v. Wade. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jane McCarthy.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. So far this year, 8 states have passed laws limiting abortion rights. KREM 2's Alexa Block spoke with people on both sides of the argument ahead of a pro-choice rally in Spokane tonight. Alexa?
That's right. People have already started gathering here at the Spokane Tribal Gathering Place just next to City Hall. I'll step aside and let you take a look at the group that's gotten together here. Now, pro-choice advocates will be speaking in about 15 minutes in a response to recent abortion restrictions passed in other states. These pro-choice supporters are concerned the anti-abortion movement is growing stronger, and these new laws could threaten the Roe v. Wade decision.
A lot of efforts are being made to criminalize it, and so that's why we feel so strongly and passionate about it, because we have seen what criminalizing abortion does, and so we are trying to save lives.
And saving lives is what the people part of the church at Planned Parenthood say they want to do. The pro-life church will be holding a worship service outside Planned Parenthood tomorrow evening, much like the one you see here. Pastor Ken Peters says he started the church to speak out against abortion, but he is really strong in saying that he doesn't want to incite violence or aggression.
And I know the other side, you know, they want to protect women's rights, and I totally get where they're coming from. So it is kind of heating up, and it's coming to a head. And we believe that we're on the side of truth.
Now, the demonstration here for pro-choice will go on for about another hour. Again, it's going to start in about 15 minutes. And if you want details on the Church at Planned Parenthood event tomorrow night, you can head to KREM.com. Alexa Block, KREM 2 News.
Well, it was a random murder that shocked the people of North Idaho in 2016. Now the story of Bo Kirk is headed to national TV.
It was the fall of 2016 when 2 men kidnapped and randomly murdered Bo Kirk, a Coeur d'Alene father and x-ray technician. His body was later found in the forest, and now that case is set to be featured on the show on the Investigation Discovery Channel.
Our Taylor Vito covered that murder when it happened. He joins us now after speaking with one of the people interviewed for this show. Taylor?
Well, guys, you know, it was a sad story that had many different aspects, and some of those revelations came during courtroom hearings inside the Kootenai County Jail as well. But notably, one aspect of the story that was really interesting was a Coeur d'Alene psychic. She said that she had visions of where Bo Kirk's body was located. She then relayed that information to a family friend who ended up finding his body. Now she's sharing that story with producers on national TV.
It was a little bit weird, like revisiting the whole thing, to be honest.
A shocking crime that's hard to forget. It was in the fall of 2016 when Bo Kirk, a well-loved Coeur d'Alene father, died in a way which no one could have predicted. These men were out driving, looking for homes to rob, when Kirk pulled up behind them. They then decided on the spot to follow Kirk home, kidnap, and kill him. His truck was torched, and his body was found near the Hayden Creek shooting range. The killers are serving life sentences. The man who found Kirk's body says he was inclined to look in that area after speaking with this woman.
We talked about, you know, what I experienced, how I got the message.
That's Jennifer Von Barron, a self-described psychic who's based in Coeur d'Alene. Kirk's friend reached out to her for help, which prompted the visions, including a sensation of Kirk standing in her bedroom.
He has never left my mind, though. It's one of those things you don't forget when somebody pops up next to your bed.
Von Barron is sharing that story once again. She says that last fall she was interviewed by producers for the TV show Murder in the Heartland. It's a true crime series that airs on the Investigation Discovery Network, and it's now featuring the Kirk murder. Here's a description from TV Guide of the series' new episode, which airs next week. It reads in part, quote, "Residents are shocked when devoted family man Bo Kirk vanishes and his truck is found set ablaze."
That's the part I think I'm the most excited about seeing, is from start to finish.
Von Barron says producers also spoke with Kirk's family and close friends, including the man who found his body. Crews were at her office for about half a day last year. While she is excited to see the episode, she notes that Kirk's death is still an awful tragedy, and it's something not to be taken lightly.
You know, I feel bad for the family having to relive it so many different times, but hopefully the reliving of it kind of gives them more and more closure each time. So.
And I did reach out to spokespeople for Discovery. That's the company that owns the channel. I haven't heard back yet at this point. But again, according to TV Guide, that episode is set to air next Monday at 8 o'clock. Once again, the channel is called Investigation Discovery, or ID for short. Live in Coeur d'Alene, Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Taylor, thank you. A 17-year-old Idaho girl is safe tonight after police say her ex-boyfriend kidnapped her, prompting an Amber Alert. Police found Sandra Rios Chavez safe in Arizona late last night. The suspect, 18-year-old Miguel Rodriguez Perez, is in custody. Police say he kidnapped Rios Chavez from her job at a Wendy's in the town of Jerome in southeastern Idaho. She had a protection order out against him. Police eventually tracked them down in Arizona, and she is set to be reunited with her parents coming up soon.
Well, today, Washington Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill to end so-called surprise medical billing.
This happens to patients who go to an in-network medical or emergency location for their medical services, but are unknowingly treated by an out-of-network provider. Patients are then charged the much higher fee, often thousands or tens of thousands of dollars more.
Now, one of the people in the room is a mom we introduced you to in November. She got a hospital bill for $96,000 for her son's emergency care. Her insurer would only cover a small portion of the bill because the hospital, it turned out, was out of network. This law will prevent that from happening to other families. It does take effect on January 1st. Earlier this month, President Donald Trump called on Congress to help protect consumers from large medical bills.
All right, to weather now. Here in Spokane, it's cloudy and cool tonight, but parts of our region actually could see some rain.
So says Tom Sherry over the Weather Center now. Hi, Tom.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Cloudy skies outside, as you see, kind of threatening some rain. But when we look at the latest Doppler radar, we've got just a few light showers that are kind of moving over the Spokane area, as you can see, over the next 12 hours. Looking just mostly for cloudy skies now. We'll look for overnight lows to drop down to about 50 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy to start, then mostly cloudy in the afternoon with a daytime high of 70. That's a little bit above average, so that's a nice mild day. Looking ahead to your 3-day weekend, looks pretty great. I've got 72 Saturday, 74 Sunday, and 76 expected on Memorial Day Monday. Just a slight chance of showers on Saturday and mostly sunny skies on Monday. I'll have the rest of your 7-day outlook coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Tom. More than a year after a deadly Amtrak train derailment in western Washington, the National Transportation Safety Board is now sharing the results of its investigation. Now, right away, they say they knew the train was going about 50 miles per hour over the speed limit. But investigators found that Sound Transit, which owns the tracks, failed to provide an effective mitigation for the curve where the train went off the tracks. 3 people were killed in this. Without positive train control, as it's called, the engineer took the curve too fast. Investigators also said the engineer himself was not adequately trained.
An Alaska air carrier involved in 2 deadly float plane crashes in the past week has voluntarily suspended operations. The latest crash killed 2 people yesterday afternoon. The NTSB says the plane was on a commuter flight, not a sightseeing tour. Last week, 6 people died and another 10 people were injured when 2 float planes crashed into each other.
Well, health officials in King County have confirmed a 7th case of the measles in western Washington. This is a new outbreak there. The woman is in her 30s and lives in King County. Officials say information on the recent cases points to a common exposure from someone with the measles who was at SeaTac Airport on April 25th.